This week on InsideRHAthletics, I'll sit down with Coach Seibert to talk about the track season, then we'll head to Cam for Player of the Week. After that, Zyra will tell us about this week's Player Spotlight, and last but not least, we'll head to Daniel for Region Roundup. All that and more on this week's edition of InsideRHAthletics. What's up, Wildcats? Welcome to this week's edition of InsideRHAthletics. I'm here with Coach Seibert, the head coach of the track and field team. How's it going, Coach?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, Coach. So, Coach, season's rolling along. It's getting hotter outside. So, can you sort of just tell us about what track and field is all about?
All right. Well, track and field has got 18 different events. We have 4 relays. We have jumps. We have throws. We have middle distance. We have distance, and we have sprints, and we have hurdles. So, over those 18 different events, we have plethora of different types of athletes on the team. So some kids can do really well, for example, in the shot put and discus. They would not do very well in the 2-mile. And so it's a really nice, good melting pot of all the athletes that we have in the school into one sport where we can kind of represent the school with their skill set.
Yeah, so, with so many sports, how do you sort of coach that? Do you sort of rely on student leadership, or do you try to, be as involved as possible? Like, how do you go about, dealing with so many events?
Right. Well, so I have experience in tons of different events. A little bit of collegiate coaching, just a lot of experience over the years personally. And I've been coaching for a long time, so I've actually coached every single event area that we have. So I have a little bit of understanding. I'm not an expert at all. And then we hire coaches that know that particular area. Coach Heather, she's really good at the sprints, the jumps, the blocks. We have some other coaches that are really good. We have Coach Coach Head this year, he is doing all the throws. And so he's becoming an expert in the throws, and then I will go and guide him a little bit on things I'm seeing from my experience. And so all the coaches are getting involved with their kids in their areas.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, you got a lot of members on the track team. So what do you sort of hope to see in your, players? And, what do you think is important to be a successful track player, like personality-wise?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Personality-wise, maturity is our biggest one. So we have an A group and a B group, and so the B group just got done with the season, and they're emerging on their physical ability, but mostly, probably predominantly, they're trying to emerge on their maturity level. And then you look at the A group. The A group has a whole different level of maturity and the physical side. So they're a little older, more mature. They got both those things going on. But that's what we're kind of looking for. You'll see your successful kids actually at a different level mentally than just physically.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, sort of talking about just, the day of a track meet, how do you sort of, go about it? What's important to you, and, how do you prepare for track meets, and just like what is it like from your lens?
Yeah, so from the coach's side, it's a pretty crappy little situation because you have 18 different events, 19 when we host at our school, and you have 140 athletes that you're trying to put in the right spot. You have to know every single athlete and what their skill set is. You have to know where the performances are at for that particular week, the previous week. So we do a lot of data, a lot of understanding, and the coaches have to be very intimate with understanding all 140 kids. And then when they don't have something, they have to reach out to another coach and figure out what that is. So we start the week and we have a meet that's literally about 5 days prior, and then I'll go through and do a draft of where I'm going to put all the athletes at, and every meet changes. So some meets we have order events like this, and then other meet it changes. One time there's only 2 entries, 3 entries, so you have to know all the parameters, fill in the formula, and then you do a draft. Then I show it to the other coaches, and then we'll go back and do a finalize and release it to the kids. It's a lengthy process. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting and tough. So, Coach, looking at track, you've been doing this for a long time, and I'm sure you've formed your opinions on how you like to do stuff. So, what would you say is your base for Richmond Hill Track? What's important to you as a coach that you want to build off of?
I think going back to your other level, just in athletics in general, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's high school football, if it's high school baseball, it doesn't really matter. Very, very, very tiny ever get to that pro level or even to the college level, percentage-wise, is super, super low. So you're hoping the kids become more mature and more confident in their abilities, whatever their abilities may be. I mean, it could be a B-level kid or a JV kid. As long as they're leaving the program more confident in who they are and what they can do, and they can actually achieve some things, that they can reach out of their comfort zone when they leave school. That's kind of really the goal of all of our sports. Most definitely ours. We're just trying to use our sport that takes kids across the board on their ability and put them into one program with one kind of goal and allow them to flourish in that area.
That's awesome. So, Coach, do you have a specific player you want to shout out for this week's Player of the Week?
I'll do Eddie Howell, and we have a lot of great athletes this year, a lot of really good ones, but Eddie's having a really phenomenal breakthrough kind of season right now. And so there's been a lot of coaches, especially at our last home meet, that came up and talked to me about him and how he just had a breakthrough day at the Marietta meet earlier in the season. And then he's had ups and downs throughout the year, which makes it even more exciting to see him. And actually, he's very good at articulating his thought process on things with me. And so to see where he's at, what his mindset is, and then how he actually is becoming a phenomenal leader for the guys group. And so doing it as a junior and just kind of patiently waiting, being mentored by kids when he was a freshman, and then now finally seeing it maturate all the way. It's pretty cool.
More on Eddie Howell on this week's Player of the Week.
This week's Player of the Week is Eddie Howell. He is a junior who runs on the cross country and track team. Though he's only a junior, Eddie says he does plan on playing at the next level.
Yeah, I plan on doing track and field in college. I'm only a junior, so I'm not really sure what yet, but definitely running in college, yeah.
Eddie says his pre-track meet rituals usually happen the night before, such as getting a good night's rest.
Pre-track meet rituals, I definitely want to get a good night of sleep. The night before, us and the team usually go to Chipotle. It's kind of our ritual. But the day of, not much I do. I mean, just eat good, drink a lot of water, yeah.
Eddie says his greatest strengths come from his love for competing, while his greatest weaknesses are outside of the physical aspects.
I mean, sometimes I'm a little lax on like the little things, kind of like nutrition. I kind of cheat a little bit on nutrition. Probably my biggest strength, I kind of just like to compete, in like races, and I think that's my biggest strength.
Eddie says that he thinks he's improved a lot since the beginning of his track career.
I feel like I've made a lot of progress since freshman year. I started running in middle school, but I wasn't really too good, wasn't really too serious about it. But kind of in high school, with a great program, great coach, I feel like I've gotten a lot faster and like a lot smarter with my racing and stuff like that, and made a lot of time improvements and mentality improvements.
His message for the young kids in the Myler Club is to stay focused but still have fun with it.
Probably say just like pursue what you want to do. Like if you love running, then do it. Like just have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. Yeah.
Eddie says that he's mostly inspired by his coach and hanging out with his friends.
Well, we have a great coach, great program. I love to just hang out with my friends, and that kind of makes me want to go out and run fast, and I'm a competitive person, and yeah.
Reporting for InsideRHAthletics, I've been Cameron Clark.
Welcome back. Now head to Player Spotlight.
This week's player spotlight is Eden Anderson, a junior who plays midfield for our girls soccer team. We asked her how she thinks the season is going.
Our season has been going pretty good. We've been getting results. We've had a little bit of a tougher schedule this season. We are 3rd in the state and 5th in the nation, so we're definitely getting those results that we want.
She told us her biggest personal goal for this season.
Personal goal is just kind of be the best teammate I can.
Anderson told us her biggest challenge that she faces.
My biggest challenge personally is probably a confidence thing. Sometimes when you're not getting the results you want internally, like it's a little hard to stay focused.
She faces this challenge with her teammates.
Maintaining a good family structure, make sure that you're just supporting everyone no matter what results you're getting.
Anderson's biggest supporters are her parents.
Definitely my parents. Obviously they pay for everything. They've been to every game, haven't missed one. So I'm kind of doing it for them as a payback thing.
Anderson has big soccer plans for after high school.
So as far as how far I want to go with soccer, I am committed right now to a D1 soccer program in Virginia. So I'm going there to play.
I've been Zaire Flash reporting for InsideRHAthletics.
Welcome back. Now we'll head to Region Roundup after the break.
Man, I love spending time out here at this awesome park off my phone. but we have to keep it nice. There are so many things to enjoy here, from tennis to football to just a simple walk around the water. But in order to enjoy it, we have to maintain our spaces, unlike these guys. Did you know that vandalism hurts our own community?
What's vandalism?
Vandalism is the deliberate destruction of property, including graffiti. If you are caught committing this felony, you can be arrested, serve time in jail, or be fined. I don't know about you, but destroying something in a park is not worth destroying my future.
Hey, give me your lunch money. No. Oh, really not giving me lunch money? Okay, then. Hey, man. Are you okay? I'm not okay.
Actually, I don't hate him. In fact, boy often stems from immediate control, which could come from being powerless at home. Children from troubled homes may witness or experience aggression, which could lead them to believe it's a normal way to interact with people. Bullying can be a way for these individuals to deflect attention from their own pain onto other people so they can feel better about themselves.
Welcome back now to Region Roundup.
Good morning, Wildcats. I'm Daniel Les Lopez here with your Region Roundup for this week. Let's get straight into it. Starting off with the girls soccer team this week, we have Richmond Hill in first place with a region standing of 7-0. In second place, we have Lowndes with 6-1. Colquitt in third place with 3-3. Camden in fourth place with 3-4. Tift County in fifth place with 1-6. And Valdosta in last place with 0-6. And now moving on to the boys soccer team, we have Richmond Hill in first place this week with 6-1. Lowndes in second place with 5-2. Third place we have Colquitt County with 4-2. Tift County in fourth place with 3-4. Camden in fifth place with 2-5. And Valdosta in last place with 0-6. And now ending it off with the boys baseball, we have Lowndes in first place with 10-0. Colquitt County in second place with 6-4. Valdosta in third place with 6-4 as well. Richmond Hill in fourth place with 5-5. Fifth is Tift County with 2-8. Sixth is Camden County with 1-9. Well, that's all I have for you this week, Wildcats. Now let's head back to the studio.
Welcome back. So Coach, to finish off this week's edition of InsideRHAthletics, how are you getting ready for your next meet?
So our next meet is at Florida State. So we're going to leave on Friday morning and go to that. And so right now we're just kind of going through, making sure all the kids are in the correct heats. Just basically preparing the kids. They had a really significant workout preparation type of day yesterday. And so just kind of following up with that, make sure it was executed the way it needed to be. And then after that, just making sure that they're mentally prepped and physically prepped, ready to go, get on the bus at the right time, and then just kind of, it's a new meet for us. We usually go to a different meet in Atlanta on this week, so it'll be a learning curve for all of us to make sure that we know, the flow of the actual facility, and so it's going to be a fun kind of learning experience for all of us.
Yeah, I know we're going to win it.
You ain't going to win it. Okay. But we will have some great performances that's going to represent Richmond Hill and Georgia really well.
That's all for this week's edition of InsideRHAthletics Wildcats. I'll see you guys next week.